Hello friends, myself Vijay Kumar Bagil. Today we are gonna develop our first Springboot application. So there, first of all, what is Springboot? Springboot is a framework for a Java web development, which is a upgradation or update of a Spring. Let's go with the development part first. First, there are two options. One, we can create a file in a Spring Boot, or other we have to go into there's a one website which is called start.spring.io, where we can create our first project. It gives you a basic dependencies and a basic project it can give you create. First of all, we have to select the Maven in project because we are gonna use the Maven build tool, which can download the dependency on the cloud into our system. Then there is a language which you want to use, Java, Kotlin, Groovy. There are a lot of options are there. Then we have to go into a Spring Boot, which version we will use. So there is a latest version called 3.3.4. So then we can go into this part. There we can give the specific fields. There you can see the group artifacts name are there. Then group, what is group? Group ID will be what you can developing a feature about. For a company you can say which project is created by which company, so we can use here anything which we want. First of all, we can say our first tab is there we are creating, so we can give first tab is there. Then artifact is nothing but a module which are you developing. So then we can say that our first app is there group ID, means app will be there, then there are different modules inside it. Then first we are creating add, you can say we are creating one add API because we said first we are creating the APIs. You can see that the Spring Boot we are basically creating the REST APIs, which is very useful. There are CRUD operations are there, CRUD. CRUD means create, R means read, and U update, and D is delete. Those are the operations which we perform on the basically on database. So their database you can say. Let me explain you the first of all we can go into this. First packaging is there, jar Java version which we are using. So we are basically currently using a 17. Then there is one option is there, the dependency is there. So we have to basically we want to create a web development of a Java web develop. So we can use the Spring Web is a basic configuration which is given by the Spring Boot. It is very mandatory for that to run the application into a web application. Basically, you can say that if we are using the Spring Boot is giving a lot of features like embedded Tomcat, embedded databases are there. You can say auto configuration given by the Spring Boot. In previously on Spring, we can give we have to write our configuration according to ourselves, but in the Spring Boot it gives you a feature, so you can only have to focusing on the business logics and coding part. It can another part will be which is configured part, what the object will created, what the object will be destroyed, it will be done by the Spring Boot itself. It's a feature of a Spring Boot, you can say. Then after that we can create this. Then we can get our first project is our first project. Here we can creating our add API for basically we can give some data and it will be stored in the database. The post operations are there, get operations are, we can go into that after we are creating our application. First of all we can extract this. So this is our basic web development program of a Java package of a Java, we can sorry about that. So we can go and you can add wherever your workspace is there. For example, my workspace is here. You can also create one of your workspace where you can easily adopt all these things. So you can organize all your project, what do you want, where do you want, so you can remember all those. This is our basic package which is given by the Maven, where you can see the pom.xml. This is a file where we can configure our properties, which data you want, which database you will use, what IP will be needed, which environment configurations are there, basically ports, properties, user ID, password will be of the database which we can, which the API will access. All those configurations are there. Then there is a source part where our main coding is the coding part we have to done here. As you can see, add API. This is our class. This is our main class of Java where the project will be started first. Then we will load into our ID. We generally I am using its STS ID. You can use anyone, Eclipse, IntelliJ, whichever you want. This is the most commonly used here. So we can go this. Then we have to import this our system, so we can see what are the basic files, basic class Java test files. All the project is loaded into ID. So we have right click. Then there is an option is called import. We are importing our project, Maven project, into our ID. So we have to go into this where we can use into go into existing Maven project. Then we can browse our project where he is. This is my project. I have to go into this. So this is our project. I can select the folder. It is loading into a system. So here is this, and then finish that. We can get our add API. This is our Maven project of add API. You can say here is the main class is there Java. In resources there you can statics. Here we can load our statics website. There is a application dot file where we will write our all those application properties file. Sorry, I have previously I have told you we have to change the property on this, not on this. There we can write our Maven dependencies which are we want to download in our system, so it can do it here. These are some downloading features are having, where is downloading all the files from the Maven. It will take a little bit of time. So this is our project. So here is one thing which is in the new update. This is now we can save all this. There is one tool dependency which will be used if we want to if you want to save anything. We can change. Mm, we can see the change without changing any run or stop the server. Yeah, automatically save it. It will all automatically reflected in our system. This is a dependency. We can go here. Whatever we are changing, if you can say that if you want to save anything, then we have to go into a run system, then again run, and then build is there. There are a lot of options are there. So we have to minimize that step, and we can use this into our dependency module, so it can be automatically updating our whole system. Here we go, and here we can write our dependency which are we want. select this, control this, tab this. Sorry, my laptop is slow, so it will take some time. So here we have to save this, so all the dependency which are of DevTools will be downloaded from there. This is, we can delete it, there is no problem. Defaultly which are the Spring Boot is compatible with the version, it will download it from there. So we can save here. All the dependencies are going download now of DevTools. Now let's run our system. I can show you the basic Spring Boot, which how it is work. First we have to right click on the project and we have to go into the run as, and then where the option is called Maven build. So here is a goal option is there. We have to run your command what we want to with this. So we have to first, if you want to deploy on our local system, so we have to go and run these commands. Clean, basically nothing but remove the old part of a program and create new. Then I will show you others. First you can see there the package is building right now. Build is going on. Also you can see here is our build is completely successfully there, because this is a basic program which are written in a Spring Boot. It can, if we can change, then there are a lot of errors will become there, a lot of. So first is this clean website is there. Clean command we run and then we get a build successful, so we can run this. So this is a clean command, it will automatically load our, will destroy the previous project and created one new. Now we can run our program which is for a Spring Boot. So here is a command for the Spring Boot run. So we can clean install. Install is nothing but here is a downloaded from the system, downloaded from the Maven cloud dependencies in our system. It continuously command we can run. We can write clean will then install it. It can download from the Maven repository. Then we can run our project with the Spring Boot run. So we can do this every time if you want to use clean Spring Boot run, it will be very helpful because it will clean previous build and then create a new build for you and run it. So you can see here the tests are running. This is our starting point of a Spring Boot where you can run. You can see like this. So you can see here is it downloading all the Maven dependencies from the repository in the cloud into our local system, so we can, so all the configurations can generally be held. Now you can see here last line is written start add application. So our program is running, it's a web development right now in our local system. If we want to run on our in a server, so we can use the AWS, so where we can use our EC2 service where we can deploy our normal program, so we can run there you can create your own ID and run it. So this is our system. Now here you can see the Spring Boot features which is come here. Tomcat started at port 88. So there is a server locally. Spring Boot gives a Tomcat server, so we can run on it. So it is our system is ready on the one website is ready on port 88. So we can go into this and run our own site which we want to see. 80 is there. So here you can say no because we don't have any no static resources there. Basically it is running right now on a local host 88. If it is not running, it will not reflect it on the system. So we can go here. So we can see right now, you can see here is the Maven dependencies which can be added in our system. If you want to use, which are webs are, starters are there, actuators are there. There are a lot of Spring Boot dependencies are there which can be used for different purposes in a Spring Boot project in Java. So this is all the dependencies which are downloaded in our local system, which is basically used for there. You can say Tomcat embedded system is there. Spring Boot's properties are there, dev tools we are used, and it is downloaded here. You can say SLF4F is used for the loggers, you can see, and JUnit testing. There is a lot of dependencies you can see here. Now if you now see here, this is a test case here. If you want to write the test case for the REST API, what will be the default values, what will we take, so we can write in this package. If right now we are going to our system, we can see what is written inside the add application. This is our starting point of our Java Spring Boot project. So this is our, you can see this is our class, where this is annotations in Spring Boot gives a lot of annotations which is useful. It's basically represent that this is a starting point of our Spring Boot application, where we can see also that in Java we write a PSVM, basically public static void main. So it is a in Java, for Java it's a starting point, and for the Spring Boot it is all over a starting point. Here you can write this at this class. This is the here you can pass. This is our command which is used for the Spring Boot application run. Whichever class is written inside that, which that class must have the Spring Boot application annotation, so it can starting point of the application. So there are a lot of, so here from here you can see it's the starting point of our program. So we can in generally there are basically I will explain you how the company Spring Boot architecture will be used. First of all, you can say there is a browser. Text will be there, you can use. This is our browser basically. This is our browser where the customer can access our system. So then we can say system is very slow. Now I can tell you the what is the layered architecture which is used by our Spring Boot application. Spring Boot application layered architecture. Sorry, my E button is not working. So you can understand our architecture is there. So basically we divided our project into a three layered. Basically when the user browser on browser a client a customer can hit our request on our services. So first we divided into our services into a three part, which is called, this is what our controller service controller, this is our service part is there, then there is a DAO part is there. This is controller where the which is basically a entry point of a project, and the whatever basic validation which is used for the service to access the user, it will be done by this controller. Basically our main starting point of program. Then after that we can see here is services there where we write our business logics. Then after that here the this will help to connect with the our database, so we can access the database from here. So this is the basically our, here is goes this browser access the controller, the controller will goes into a service, service goes into a DAO, and DAO goes into our database and retrieve the data or save the data, which is basically I'm telling you the CRUD operations which is performed here. See, CRUD operations will be perform create, read, update, or delete, whatever which we have. Basically, it's like if we are open a Facebook site, we want to upload something. So they are the upload operations which is called as basically a create in our database. We call the API, so we want to send our data and upload it in there. So read operations, if you want to see something in someone's, whatever we hit on the browser, it will work as a API, and those APIs are working on the CRUD operations basically. So you can say that goes from browser controller service database is there. DB is there. So again, those the CRUD operations are happening. So it will retrieve some data from here. So this is the request. So we getting the response from their side. Now the done the database create some data, update some data, and getting some response. So it will goes into a DAO, then it will goes into a service, then from service it goes into a controller, and controller sends the request, send the response to the browser. So it will be reflected from there. So here we can write our business logics. Here we write our entry points, what are the REST APIs annotations which will be used for valid points. So this is our basic architecture. We have to create the controller interface, controller implementation to hide the basic knowledge, hide the internal information from the user. So we basically use, then there are a lot of annotations which will be used in the Spring Boot, will be run in the next lecture. Then this is our architecture basically. The one, this is our web application. You can say the user wants to access this, so it have to go into all those low level designing, low level architecture. Web development, web dev, web application is there. Sorry, so this is our, so the client, this will be all goes one to a, this all will be written in our Spring Boot. Spring Boot gives a lot of, so you, if you want to learn about the Spring Boot, then go into a chat GTP. It will be very useful today, and in coming time you have to also learn this. Otherwise you have to compete with the other pupils, because today's in the AI is a very important technologies which is generally used by the higher companies, and gives a lot of confidence to give you, so you can get the knowledge and you can fast phase the development. So if you want to learn the what is Spring Boot, so it will generally write here, tell me about Spring Boot features, what are the features which is used. And so I'm telling you that is with the help of Spring Boot we can get a lot of, we don't have to do the lot of configuration which we have used in the Spring Boot. Now there's auto configuration, it's already inbuilt in this, so we don't have to configure the Spring application based on a dependency. It will automatically use all the dependency. Then there is I can say that Spring Boot starters are there, which can dependency bundle simply add a feature to any features which you want to use. There are a lot of features there, so if you want, so you can use this. Then you guys so tell you the Tomcat server is there. Is for Tomcat server I can also show you the how to change the port. This is basically the one service is running on a 880, then I want to run the another service, so we can change the port. First, first of all we see the there is a this is called Spring Boot CLI. So here we can see that this is called this we call we can run on in the API, command line also. We can do it in the next lecture. So here is for an example, I can show you a static page. So here we can create one class. So I can give you the class name. Sorry. File is there. File name will be the default. Whatever we write here, for an example, web application, it will be reflected on here. This is the static page where you can write anything which can be reflected on a normal page of this. It can be like this because my system is not working properly. Then after that, Tomcat is there, so we can change the Tomcat property. First of all, I will show you how to change the port number if you want to run your another service on this. So first of all, we go into this, then we can see there is application properties there. Then here we can add our new property called server. Dot port. With the help of dot, we can see all the. So defaultly, there will be the 8080 will be there. So we can save. First of all, we can save this. It will be automatically reflected with the help of this. Now you can see here the Tomcat is started on 8081. If you want to now you can access the 8080. It will not work because we change our property to run on the 8080. You can see here this. Then the application is not working on a 8080. So we can now see here. You can see this is working right now. So we can change the properties of the port which we want to use. This is our first normal application. So changing the server.port 8081 property, we can have to go to the application properties. Okay, and then if there are two solutions, if you want to running 8080, and again we can run on that. So you first you can terminate the 8080 and start again, or change the port number, you can say. Now we can go into our. So with the help, this is normally used. Now if you want to check your REST APIs, so you can go into. There's a tool which is basically used to a developer for testing our REST APIs. So this is called Postman. Here you can get into log into this. This is, you can see this is like Postman is look like this. So we are going to add API. So if you want to run on IT, we can write here a URL and check what is written. First we have to send that. So here you can see our system is running. So see, there's not founded. So you can check your REST APIs from here. There are a lot of operations are there: get, post, put, patch, delete, add. With the help of get, we can get the data. With the post, we can create data. With the help of put, we can update the data. And with the help of patch, it's there different between post, put, and patch. You can say that there are another annotations are there: request param, path variables, and request body. Those are the, depending on those annotations we can use this. So again we can go again. So I also told you that we can also go into AWS for deploying our system. We can run our this application on a web server. So we can use the AWS, but locally we done that, so there's no problem in that. So that's all we can do it from the first application. I've described you all the properties. There we can write our dependency. There we can write our properties which want we configure. This is our test. We can write here our test cases which we used for the REST API. What are the default values which we valid for? It will be all done in the project. Whether it will be done by developer or either it will be done by a tester. Here we can write our static page of HTML which will be, I can show you, just give me a 1 minute. Why it will not be done? Rename, where is the rename option is there? Just give me 1 minute. Here is our server. Static is there. This file I can copy from here and I will paste here. It will be done. So here we can see this. We can delete this. Actually my keys are not working, that's why. We can delete this. Now I can save this. You can see the reflection of the web application which can be on our internet. Now go into your system. Now let's see what will happen. It's not compiled until now. Sorry, I have to stop the server and run again. We will get that static page in our web application. So with the help of Springboot, we can develop the Java-based application. You can write the REST APIs there, create a lot of business logics will be there. How we do this? Why it is not running? Server is not built. Again, I have to run this. Here that the builder, my one is building our packages. There are a lot of information you can see here. Your whichever build which we are creating, it is building in a target system. You can say here is a target folder. This is, yeah, I can show you the file which is creating. Test is running. Default of system is running now. 881, the Tomcat is started. There is compiler told that it's create one package inside the target folder. Let's see our system which are not running. Now it can be run. This is, so this is our first application where we can create the REST API, and this is our basically basic Spring Boot application. So we don't have to So we can write the KPIs, and there is a web application is there. So there are the front ends of we can create some buttons. We can give some tabs. Login ID password tab is there. So we can create, we can give our data ID password so it can validate through the REST APIs, business logic. Then all these things are done in the Spring Boot. That's all for the today.